Have you ever thought you were normal? I did once. If I see something you post on social media, before I can comment, I will read your entire profile, top to bottom, every post, every reel, to make sure that I have a complete picture of who you are and the purpose of your online presence before I say anything, because I do not want to accidentally say something offensive. If I leave you a comment that says, "Nice job," it could be condescending or just be taken out of context. I fear that the heart emoji I sent you when you dropped your latest single might somehow have crossed a boundary. I have a really hard time understanding tone and people's intentions when I read things like text messages and online comments, and I always just kind of assumed everybody else did too. This goes for my own comment section too. Sometimes people will leave me comments that I know aren't positive in nature, but I can't tell if they're being really hateful and trolly or if they're just disagreeing with me sometimes. Because, there's a difference between valid criticism and hate. I made this video a couple years ago about how American capitalism is broken, and I was painting a rainbow. Oh, here it is, I have it. And if you're painting rainbows and say even one negative thing about American capitalism, you better get ready for some hate, because not everybody loves that. But there was this one comment that said something about my art being trashy, and I read it and I knew this person was being rude, but I also felt like there was something in there that maybe I needed to respond to. And while I was typing my response, other people came in and commented, and one of them was like, "Listen, you're a homophobic piece of shit. You need to shut up." And then I went back and read the original mean comment again, and I was like, oh, I script every conversation I have way in advance. If I have to go to the DMV, I will mentally prepare several days ahead of time. I will research everything I need to bring with me, every single question they could possibly ask me. It's like I'm studying for a test. And I also have to have a few backup contingency plans for what I'm going to do if they ask the questions in a different order than what I'm anticipating. Conversations with strangers are performances that I have to be prepared for. I write small talk with strangers in my head like it's my Oscars acceptance speech. Or perhaps it's the script for the movie I'm in. Except when I show up to the set, all the other actors are ad-libbing. And if something happens that goes even slightly off my script, I just black out. And I end up saying something like, "Yeah, let's circle back on that soon." But I'm talking to the order taker in the Taco Bell drive-thru. I had a professional conversation recently where somebody contacted me because my job, believe it or not, is talking to people, but I know all the answers to all the questions. I'm always ready. This woman called me and we got to the part where I said, "Okay, how can I help you?" And she said, "Good, thank you." And my brain shut off. And I was just like, okay, why are you talking to me? I don't ever want to be rude to people, but sometimes they forget their lines. I used to think I was good at small talk and social chit-chat because I used to be a pathological people pleaser. I used to be so obsessed with matching the energy in every room I walked into and convincing people that I was like them. And one day, I stopped caring whether or not people liked me, and the world kind of fell apart. In a good way. I stopped trying to say things to people all the time that I thought would make them approve of me, and no one minded. Generally speaking, people are really uninterested in me. Not that they necessarily dislike me, I don't think, they're just not interested. And I'm like, cool, not interested in you either. So why do we need small talk? Can't we just occupy space together without saying anything if nobody has anything to say? I like talking to people. I am not a person who is antisocial. I am not shy. I would not generally categorize myself as an introvert, but I don't like talking when I'm not contributing to anything. Is it so wrong to only want to talk about things that you find interesting? And when I say interesting, I don't just mean like special interests that I have. Like, I really like listening to other people. I like to find out what interests them and what motivates them and just how other people think. For me, the point of a conversation is to exchange information. And I always assumed that other people felt the same way, and that if they were listening to what I was saying, that meant I was giving them something of value. But it turns out in a lot of situations, people just feel really uncomfortable with silence, and they just want me to say something to fill up the space, and they're only listening to be polite, and I don't know when it's time to stop talking. So it turns out that I'm actually really annoying and or sort of odd to a lot of people. Why is it considered polite to be completely disingenuous? Seriously, why is it polite to be fake? Is it abnormal to enjoy quiet? Like, seriously, is it weird to just like silence? I love meeting new people and talking to them, but not in forced situations. I don't need people to talk to me about nothing, especially if they're not even interested in what I have to say. It's noisy enough up here. I don't need you to add to it. Pride's coming up. Does anybody need me to paint more rainbows? I have not forgotten about Mona Erica, by the way. I don't love the way this is looking. If you have any ideas, please leave me a comment. Subscribe.